Roller derby is played in increments called jams. Each jam lasts up to 2 minutes. Both teams field up to 5 skaters at the start of the jam. 4 of these skaters are called blockers, and 1 is called the jammer. The jammer wears a helmet cover with a star on it and scores points for the team. The blockers are playing both offense and defense at the same time, and together they make up what is called the pack. The 2 jammers start each jam behind the pack and must get through all of these skaters for an initial pass before they can begin to score points. When the initial pass is complete, a jammer can score 1 point for every opponent they pass with their hips. The first jammer out of the pack legally is declared lead jammer, which means they can end the jam anytime they want before the 2 minutes are up. Sounds easy, right?
All right, who's ready for this championship game? The last one of Monsoon Madness here in Arizona. Everybody was super quiet on that. All right. You want to announce Sacramento or Wasatch?
I am Medieval. Hello, I am Medieval, and I will be announcing Sacramento Roller Derby Maulstars. Number 1, Swiffy. Number 10, Jelly. 1013. 106, Allison. 113, Annie Anklebiter. 117, Shira. 143, Sinner Blocker. 17, Rhodes Warrior. 327, Kick and Nut Run. 415, Bird Dog. 422, Biohazard Boobies. 44, Foreclosure. 451, Shock and Amber. 50, Annie Rustic. 618, Mo Dirt. 649, Pain Generator. 718, HOS. 73, Pain Duce. 80, Merle Hazard. 82, Myth America.
All right, and we have started off this jam, and it's going to be Apollo with your lead jammer status. Now reapproaching the pack, picking up 4 points and getting out. The opposing jammer did take the cover off and was able to trick the other blockers into letting them out, but it is going to force that call off. Oh, nope, that wasn't Apollo. That was
Swifty.
Swifty.
Yes, Swifty. And we have 106, Allison, going out there for Sacramento. Who's that for? And we have Knuckles going out there for the Midnight Terror.
You want to do this one?
What?
Announce it.
Oh, yeah. We have all 4 jammers and blockers on the track. And we have 106, Allison, getting lead jammer status. And we have 25 out there getting out right after. And we have one of the blockers from Midnight Terror going to the no-no box. And we have 106, Allison, calling it off with 3 points scored. Good job to all of these skaters that are on the track currently, because I know they are tired, because I myself am. How about you?
I'm pretty tired. We literally just got off the track. So if you were watching the last game, you were watching us. But this is the last game of the tournament. Everybody that's here, don't forget to also check out the after party that's next door. And right now we're going to have Furious George and Forecloser out there on the line. And both, it looks like it's a pretty slow pack to start off. A little bit of offensive help there from number 327. Let's see.
And we have those Maulstars out there giving out a good fight.
Furious George was trying to take that inside, but it looks like it's Forecloser that is going to be your lead jammer for this. Furious George taking off that cover, looking for their pivot to see if Furious George can pass it or get a little bit of help. That was also 4 points that were picked up for the Sacramento Maulstars there. And that's Bip fighting past that tough four wall in the front of the pack. Let's see. Well, Forecloser is reapproaching the pack. And it looks like it is going to be a power jam. There was a cut track called on Forecloser. So let's see what Wasatch can do in order to take advantage of this penalty. Their pivot turned jammer is now out of the pack on a scoring pass. Gonna see if they can get some points.
Oh.
Get some points up on the board. A little tumble there out of turn 2.
We have all
Bip.
these blockers giving out a big fight.
Yes, definitely. Especially on day 3, it's super hard to hold those jammers. And it looks like there's a cut track that's being assessed to a Sacramento blocker, leaving their pack a little down. Bip there on the outside. Forecloser had picked up 4 points, reapproaching the pack on the outside. And that is the end of that jam, leaving the score 15 points for Sacramento Maulstars and 8 points for Midnight Terror.
And we have Merle Hazard out there jamming for Sacramento and Devil's Ivy out there for Midnight Terror. We have one Sacramento blocker in the box currently. Oh, everybody was ready to start.
It always gets you when you think that whistle's going to come, everybody's ready. They've counted down that 5 seconds in their head. And then it's the wrong whistle.
Mm-hmm. And let's give it up for our volunteers keeping up the track and making sure that it is wonderful out there for us. We cannot have this event without the officials, without the volunteers that take care of it, can keep everything up to date.
Wasatch? I've been saying Wasatch? Wasatch? I don't know. It comes out how it comes out.
Wasatch? Okay. That's why I've been saying Midnight Terror, because I don't know if I'm saying it right.
I think you said that I could hear you. I could hear you. Oh, I see some shoes. They're calling this with their souls.
Hello?
Hello. it's me. I'm
Hello?
in Arizona
Hello?
playing
Yeah,
derby
hello? Hello? Hello?
with skates on my feet.
Hello?
For those of you who are unaware, we have some fans over there in the stands, and all of them have their shoes off and are putting them up to their ear like a telephone. And that's Merle Hazard and Devil's Ivy out there. Devil's Ivy being hit to the outside, while Merle Hazard takes the inside apex, picking up lead jammer. Devil's Ivy trying to get past this last singular blocker with the pivot or with the star off of their head. And they do make it out of the pack while Merle Hazard is re-entering. Trying to find space, but it looks like that's number 777, Colonel Skirts, that's giving them a little bit of issue. That jam is called before Ivy can get in there and score any points, but that was 4 points up on the board for Maulstars.
And we have number 1, Swiffy, going out there for Sacramento. And we have Glow Job out there for Midnight Terror. And the no-no box is cleared, so all 4 blockers are on the track currently.
I don't know. I don't need to do this.
And we have some good O given off the line.
That was good O into D.
And we have Sacramento gaining lead jammer status for this jam. And we have that jammer that's for Midnight Terror putting up a good fight and getting out of the wall. And we have Swiffy out there eligible to score some points. And they got 3 points, bringing the Maulstars up to 22 to Midnight Terror's 8.
It looks like it's going to be Apollo out there for Midnight Terror and Allison for Maulstars. That's 5 seconds that has been called, and that whistle means it's go time. And it looks like Wasatch pretty early out there as your lead jammer. Allison making their way not too far behind. Lots of blocker on blocker action here in between turns 1 and 2. Ooh. And it looks like there was a big hit there on that outside turn. A penalty is going to be assessed
for 1-4-3.
Yeah, 1-4-3 cinder blocker.
And we have 4-4 foreclosure out there jamming for Maulstars. And we have Knuckles out there for Midnight Terror jamming. Midnight Terror has an advantage for blockers out there currently, since Sacramento has a a blocker in the box currently. But that doesn't stop foreclosure from getting lead jammer status for Sacramento. And we have 2-5 out there right behind. And we have foreclosure out there about to score some points for her team. And we have foreclosure calling it off, gaining all 4 points.
And this is the battle for the first and second place of this tournament, so this should turn out to be a really good game. Furious George out on the track against Merle Hazard. And we're off. Both jammers hitting up the pack. Furious George making it towards the front, but falling down. Merle Hazard able to find space on that inside line, picking up lead jammer. Furious George not too far behind, trying to close that gap in between them, force that call off. The white pack making it towards the front, seeing if they can get any points. And let's see if Furious George could sneak those hips in. No, they were not able to pick up any points on that pass. That is 3 points, though, up on the board for the Maulstars, bringing their score to 29, holding Midnight Terror at 11.
And we have one Midnight Terror blocker in the box currently, which gives Sacramento an advantage for this jam. We currently have number 1, Swiffy, out there, and Devil's Ivy for Sasquatch. And we have Swiffy getting lead jammer status for Sacramento.
Beautiful toe stop work.
Yes. And we have 9-3 out there jamming for Midnight Terror right out of that wall. And we have Swiffy calling it off, scoring 3 points for Sacramento, bringing them to a total of 32 to Midnight Terror's 11.
And that is Glowjob and Allison out there on the Razor Cake Jam line. It's Allison pushing up towards the front of that pack against a nice tough tripod, forcing them to start bridging. Blockers dropping like crazy, and it is Allison. That is your lead jammer. Glowjob trying to get past Cinder Blocker there. There's a no pass, no penalty. Ooh. And Glowjob still trying to find their way past those last tough Sacramento blockers, while Allison's back in the pack trying to get along that outside line. Has a couple blockers there, still trying to get around, and does. Picking up 4 points for Sacramento. Glowjob's really trying to fight, looking for their pivot there. Oh, some number 143 there said, no, you can't take that. Not yet. Wow, it looks like Allison's just going to take some laps there, picking up 4 more points.
And this Midnight Terror jammer is still on their initial.
Yes. Glowjob. All right, and it looks like there was a successful star pass there, making Booty Queen your new jammer of record, forcing Sacramento to call it off, keeping Midnight Terror scoreless, while Maulstars has now put up 12 points on the board. Their score is now 44 for the Sacramento Maulstars. Wasatch still holding strong at 11.
And we have all 4 blockers on the track. And it will be Apollo for Midnight Terror and Foreclosure for Maulstars Sacramento. And we have some jammer on jammer action starting off this jam. We have all 4 of those blockers putting on a whole fight.
Dude, all over
Still fighting for lead status currently. We have Foreclosure pushing.
Taking it with me.
And we have Foreclosure gaining lead jammer status for this jam. We have your Sacramento blockers out there putting up a fight, trying to keep that jammer back. And we have Foreclosure out here on her second pass to gain points. And we have one of the Midnight Terror blockers going to the no-no box.
We got to keep an eye out for the people that work in BPs.
Oh, is he? Oh, okay. And Sacramento is going to start this jam with a advantage for their blockers, as all 4 are on the track currently.
And we're moving into jam 11 here of the first half. A little under 17 minutes left, and we have Merle Hazard there out on the jam line for the Maulstars and Knuckles for Midnight Terror. And it looks like there's already kind of a split in the pack there. Merle Hazard really pushing, making those blockers move up, picking up that lead jammer. Knuckles is still trying to fight in the back of the pack, looking for a little offensive help there on that inside line. Wasn't quite successful. Those Sacramento blockers really able to just tell them no, and we're going to play a different game here. While Merle Hazard is through, picking up 4 points, reapproaching the pack. Knuckles is still trying to find their way through. Tried to give a little bit of jammer defense there. Wasn't able to quite catch that. Merle Hazard picked up 4 more points. And it looks like there's a stop block being assessed there to a Maulstar blocker. That was number 415. And there is a penalty that's causing a power jam. I wasn't able to pick up on what was called, but it is a power jam for Sacramento, but they're also having another blocker go to the box. But they're going to go ahead and call it. They're going to start off this power jam in the next jam with 2 blockers down, but it's still a power jam. I feel like you can never go wrong with a power jam. Power start.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be Swiffy out there jamming for the Maulstars. And we have currently 2 Sacramento blockers in the no-no box right now, thinking about what they did. And we have Sacramento Swiffy out there gaining lead jammer status for Sacramento. Yes, and we have Swiffy out there gaining 4 points. And that power jam has come to an end. And we have Swiffy out there gaining all 4 points and calling it off before Midnight Terror could score any points. They are currently at 66, while Midnight Terror holds that 11.
So it looks like Wasatch hasn't been able to score since the 6th jam of this game. So it's been 7 jams now that Sacramento's been able to hold them scoreless. And we have Allison back out there against Furious George. Furious George tried for that inside line, thinks they see a little bit of space on the outside, but is denied. While Allison's going up against the 2 more blockers in the front there, going inside, outside. They got a little bit of offensive help there, but it is Allison who is out of the pack, and Lee Jammer. And it looks like there's a failure to return call on a Midnight Terror blocker, but there's also a penalty that's going to be assessed to a Sacramento blocker, while Allison's going hips first into that pack, picking up 4 points, while Furious George was trying to sneak in some points, but wasn't quite fast enough, so will remain scoreless again in this jam.
And we have 1 blocker from each team in the no-no box currently. And we have Foreclosure out there jamming for Sacramento and Devil's Ivy for Midnight Terror. And we have all those blockers out there putting up a fight and defending from that jammer from getting out. And we have that jammers pushing. And the pivot from Midnight Terror has just been released, giving some O for her jammer. Foreclosure has just gained lead jammer status for this jam for Sacramento. And she is about to score some points. And we have 9-3 getting out and on her initial pass. And we have Foreclosure calling it off while gaining 4 points for Sacramento. And that will bring the Maulstars to 74 to Midnight Terror's 11.
And it looks like we have Glow Job back out there for Midnight Terror, while Merle Hazard is out for the Maulstars. 5 seconds has been called, and that is the whistle, folks. Merle Hazard trying to get past those two blockers on the outside, but does find a little space to tiptoe on the inside with only one remaining blocker. No pack is called. They must let her go. Glow Drops trying to find any space on that back line, getting a little bit of offensive help that is going to cause that player to get a penalty and have to sit in the box. Sometimes it's worth it, though. The Merle Hazard's out picking up 4 points, and there has been a successful star pass there for Midnight Terror. Your new jammer of record is Bip. Merle Hazard is going to go ahead and call off that jam after picking up 4 more points, bringing Sacramento's score up to 82 to Wasatch's 11, and about 10 minutes left in this half.
And we have number 1 out there jamming for the Maulstars. And we have Apollo out there jamming for Midnight Terror. And we have Midnight Terror out there with 3 blockers while 1 is in the penalty box. And we have those blockers out there putting up a fight. Two more blockers to fight. And we have Swiffy out there gaining lead jammer status for Sacramento. And we have Apollo, who has just taken off the star, looking for some help out there. And this is going to be a power jam. And it is time for Midnight Terror to score some points because Apollo has just got out for the initial pass. And she is eligible to score points now. But we have those Sacramento blockers out there putting up a fight, making it hard for her to score. And this skater is out there putting up a fight. Yeah. And 89 has scored 4 points. Let's give it up for these blockers out there putting up a fight.
Go blockers, go blockers, go.
Yes.
Go blockers, go blockers, go.
And this will be a 2-minute jam.
2-minute jam. Jam, 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 jam.
Yes. And
Jam,
that penalty
jam,
box
jam,
is empty currently, so all 4 blockers from each team are on the track. And this is going to be a power jam for
Actually,
Midnight Terror.
that is going to be the end of that jam, so will it be a power start for Midnight Terror?
And that was a 10-point jam for Midnight Terror, bringing their score to 21 to Maulstars 89.
And that is breaking their no-scoring streak since they hadn't scored since the 6th jam. So that's a 11 jam no-score streak that they just broke, and they get to break it with a power start. There is an official review that's being called from, it looks like, Wasatch.
Yes, that is correct.
Oh, we got some shoe hands over there in the crowd. Oh, is there a Macarena? A shoe Macarena? Hey, Macarena. There we go. Now we're getting the rhythm almost. We are trying to get the rhythm. There we go. Boot doop. Things get wild on the last days of tournaments. Let me tell you. Everybody's bodies are exhausted. 3 days of pushing yourself. You start to get a little delirious, especially it's really hot here.
Yes.
So everybody in the crowd, hydrate. Don't forget to drink water. Also, electrolytes are important.
Yes. Let's give it up for these officials who are making a really good official review currently, and all these NSOs and SOs who have come to this tournament to make it possible.
And speaking of officials, our officials for this game are Fickle Bitch, Bacon Eater, Loki Loki, Say Roar, Romp, Alice Lum, Gorham Brown Cat, Sweet and Sour Candy, Notorious, Phoenix, Speed Bump, Rough Draft, Spike, Flash, Sushi, Guinness, Manosaur, Effin' Ray, and Damon Mistress. And since we're doing a little bit of naming right now, we still haven't gotten to put Wasatch's roster out there, so I'll go ahead and read that really quick. We have 000 Booty Queen, 1039 Lavender Menace, number 172 Pikachu, number 22 Off the Rails, number 2324 Furious George, number 25 Knuckles, number 314 Bip, number 444 Heartbreaker, number 7734 Evie Hell, number 777 Colonel Skirts. Oh, we're doing the wave. We're doing the wave. Number 8 Taco Delamar, number 801 Orange Crusher, number 89 your Captain Apollo, number 93 Devil's Ivy, and number 999 Glow Job. And we are off on a new jam. Let's see, it's number 25 out there for Wasatch. That's going to be Knuckles, it looks like. Swifty's still sitting there in the box waiting to get out, see if she can still pick up lead jammer. There is a forearm penalty. It looks like that's being assessed to a Wasatch blocker. They're going to have a little bit of time in that no-no box there. And that is Wasatch. That is your lead jammer. Knuckles coming back into the pack, hitting a tripod at the front of the pack while Swifty is approaching the back tripod, trying to find a little space on that inside turn 3 there. Just tries to go to the outside but does pick up a forearm instead, which sends them back to the penalty box. Knuckles is trying to still get past on this scoring pass, getting through all of those blockers, picking up as many points as possible. Tried to get a little bit of offensive help that did drop off, but the wall in the back is going to decide to keep one of those Sacramento blockers back there to try and make it a little bit easier for their jammer, who is being recycled back currently on that outside line. They did find a little bit of space and a little bit of offensive help there from Lavender Menace, having one blocker left to fight through. Now 2. No pack is called, and Knuckles is out of the pack, picking up 4 points. Swifty is trying to get through on that outside, steps out, and it looks like Lavender Menace did pick up a penalty. I'm not entirely sure what that one was. Some beautiful backwards hips there from Swifty, making it out of the pack. And that is going to be the end of that jam. Let's see if any more points were put up on the board. It looks like there were 2 more points up there for Midnight Terror, so that was 6 points for them, making their score 27. Sacramento is now sitting at 89, and about 5 minutes left in this half.
And we have 106 Allison out there for the Maulstars, and we have Furious George out there jamming for Midnight Terror. And we have 106 Allison out there gaining lead jammer status for Sacramento. And we have Furious George out there out and about, ready to score points. And we have Allison calling off that jam after gaining 4 points, leaving Midnight Terror to their 0. Bringing the score for the Maulstars to a 93 to Midnight Terror's 27. We have 4 minutes left in this quarter.
Lots of great derby from both of these teams out here. And it's going to be 4 closer out there for the Maulstars and Devil's Ivy for Midnight Terror. Devil's Ivy tries to take the outside line, is hit out, followed by Forecloser, who tries to take that outside as well, who's now on the inside picking up lead jammer. Devil's Ivy, and there is a blocker that's going to the box. That's going to be a Sacramento blocker there, leaving their pack a little short, which is helping out Devil's Ivy, who is now out of the pack. Although Devil's Ivy pivot is now going to the box, so won't be able to help them out if that's needed. But it looks like Forecloser's thinking about calling it, but doesn't. It's going to continue to let this run a little bit, maybe trying to get their blocker out of the box. Devil Ivy now out, picking up 4 points for Midnight Terror. Forecloser also out of the pack, not too far behind. Wonder how long they're going to let this one run for. We are almost a minute into this jam, and Devil Ivy is out again with 4 more points. Forecloser coming in again, taking a nice shirt whip, a single foot on that outside line. Some beautiful balance there, decides to call it off, passing that century mark in that jam with a total of 12 points, bringing their score to 105 points for the Maulstars and 35 for Midnight Terror.
All right, and we have 999 out there, Glow Job, jamming for Midnight Terror, and 80 Meryl Hazard out there for the Maulstars. And we have Sacramento out there starting with the advantage as they have all 4 blockers on the track currently. And we have Midnight Terror's pivot just got released from the box. And we have 999 out there gaining lead jammer status for Midnight Terror. And we have Meryl Hazard out there still putting up a fight to get out of that wall. And there is a successful star pass. And we have Glow Job out there scoring 4 points for Midnight Terror. And we have her call it off. All right, and we have Maulstars out there with 109 and Midnight Terror with 35.
And it looks like that is going to be a official timeout. This official timeout is brought to you by Crash Course. It helps roller derby athletes build strength, track confidence, and build winning habits to become MVPs on and off the track. Want to make 2-minute jams feel easy? Visit ChrissyCrash.com for a 1-month trial of roller derby training club fitness app for just $1. Life's a contact sport. Win. Hey, these guys over here, they're a shoo-in for the best people in the crowd.
Wow.
Oh. We're on a roller coaster over there. Got to keep ourselves entertained during these official breaks sometimes.
Yes, thank you for that entertainment, Kansas City. All right, and we have 106 Allison out there jamming for Sacramento, and we have Apollo out there jamming for Midnight Terror. And we have both of those jammers out there fighting for lead jammer status. And we have 106 Allison out there gaining lead jammer status for Sacramento. We still have Apollo out there fighting to get out on their initial pass, which has happened. We have Apollo out there eligible to score points. Let's see how much they could get. And Allison calls that off before they could hit that wall. And we have the Maulstars scoring 4 points for that jam.
Right, we'll have one more jam in this half. And I see Forecloser back out there for Sacramento and Knuckles for Midnight Terror. some offense there off the line. Forecloser pushing this Wasatch wall up in the front of the pack, getting a little bit of offense here, trying to find space on the inside. Wasn't quite able to accept that, while Knuckles is still trying to find any space against this tripod in the back. Forecloser doing a little dip there. Dip, baby, dip. She's your lead jammer. It looks like Knuckles is there looking for a possible pass, but decided to stash it instead and makes their way out of the pack, while Forecloser re-enters the pack, having 2 blockers left to make it through in the front, while Knuckles is reapproaching. Let's see, what was Knuckles able to pick up any points?
1 point.
Knuckles did pick up a point on that one, bringing Wasatch's score up to 40 and Maulstars at 113. This is your halftime now, so fill up your drinks, take a quick smoke break, relax, get ready for some more derby. See you in the second half.
It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, every body. We've got you covered.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music license. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined.
dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, every body. We've got you covered.
Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music license. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io.
But we know better. It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, every body. We've got you covered.
Artlist.io. Music license. Artlist.io. Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music licensing.
But we know better. It's a symphony of dedication, grit, and heart. Tuned to one another in a composition of chaos on a stage built for progress. Athlete-driven innovation from the first whistle to the final score. Every hit, every fall, every win, every loss, every team, every season, every body. We've got you covered.
Music licensing reimagined. Artlist.io. Music license.
And we got about a minute and a half for intermission to be over. While we're on this time, let's shout out our team sponsor, Sisu. This event is sponsored by Susu mouth guards, trusted by roller derby athletes for comfort, protection, and a custom fit. Play hard, stay protected with Susu.
Hopefully everybody's found their seat, filled up their drinks, took a little bathroom break. It's almost time for Derby to start again. This is the last half of our last game of Monsoon Madness 2025.
Yes.
All right, last one. Almost done. Everybody's fought so hard. And that rolling whistle means we have about 30 seconds. Sometimes. But that time it was only like 6 seconds.
And we have number 1 Swiffy out there jamming for Sacramento, gaining lead jammer status with Knuckles 2-5 out there for Midnight Terror. And we have Swiffy out there about to score some points for her team.
Looks like they're going to let this one run a little bit long. Maybe trying to get their friend out of the penalty box.
And we have another blocker going to the penalty box currently. And we have Swiffy out there scoring 4 more points. But Knuckles is scoring 4 points also for Midnight Terror. And we have Swiffy calling off 4 points. And we have Midnight Terror with 3 blockers going to the track and 1 in the penalty box, with all 4 blockers for Sacramento on the track currently.
And 5 seconds has been called. Allison's out there on the jam line with Furious George for Midnight Terror. Furious George trying to take the inside, then the outside, then pushing up the middle, while Allison pushes that front pack from Midnight Terror up. Almost to the inside. Some beautiful backwards crossovers there by Allison, who does get declared lead, while a Wasatch blocker, number 22, goes to the box. Furious George trying to find any space they can, trying to push. That's a really tough wall that's there for Sacramento, I can tell you firsthand. Furious George is really trying and gets a little bit of offensive help there, finding their way out of the pack on that outside line. Allison is now also out of the pack, picking up 4 points. It looks like they're thinking about calling it. They do call it before letting Furious George get into the pack, keeping Midnight Terror scoreless.
And we have 9-3 out there jamming for Midnight Terror, and 4-4 Foreclosure out there jamming for the Maulstars. We have Sacramento out there starting with a pack advantage with all 4 blockers on the track currently, with one of the Midnight Terror's blockers in the penalty box. Looks like they have a short amount of time in there as they are standing. It is their pivot. And we have both jammers out there fighting for lead jammer status. And we have 4-4 Foreclosure out there gaining lead jammer status.
I'm hearing lots of whistles.
And this will be a power jam for Sacramento, as Devil's Ivy goes to sit in the penalty box.
Although not alone, being accompanied by a blocker friend there.
And we have Foreclosure out there gaining 4 points for Sacramento. And we have the Midnight Terror blockers out there still putting up a fight for Foreclosure, sending her back.
That was some good communication there from the jammer, too.
And 9-3, Devil's Ivy has just been released on the initial pass. And we have Foreclosure out there calling off the jam before Devil's Ivy could score any points. We have 1 point scored for Foreclosure. That brings Maulstars to a 130 to Midnight Terror's 45.
Glow Job is going to be out there on the Razor Cake Jam line against Merle Hazard. But an official review, it looks like.
It's a timeout.
Oh, no, it's an official.
Oh, never mind. It's
So a little timeout for the the ref crew to get together, make sure everything's good. We'll take a little water break, hydrate. Everybody should hydrate. It's hot here. We've been doing things. You at home, too, you can also hydrate, whether it's with, some beautiful H2O on the rocks or whatever your drink of choice is. So this event is also brought to you by RollerCon 2026. If you love roller skating, you know the magic happens when roller derby, park, and roller skaters of all disciplines get together. Join us RollerCon 2026, which is July 8th through 12th at Expo Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. If you would have entered the raffle, you could have won a ticket for $5.
And who doesn't love free stuff?
Who doesn't? I'm a little jealous of Katie over there with all of her goat yoga that she gets to do. Because Arizona Goat Yoga is also one of the sponsors. Rolling to another form of entertainment with Arizona Goat Yoga. It's the ultimate blend of stretching, laughter, and adorable goats jumping all around you. Whether you're a seasoned yogi or a first-timer, these playful goats will help you unwind, laugh, and maybe even give you a little back massage. Come for the yoga, bah-mastay for the goats. We guarantee a goat experience. GoatYoga.com. I'm also personally going to give a shout out. This isn't from the sponsorees, but this is from me. I want to say a thank you to Arizona Roller Derby for putting on this tournament every year. I've been a few times, and it's always been a great experience. So thank you for always putting this together, getting all the different teams and skaters, getting the officials, the venue. It's a beautiful venue if you haven't been here. But, yeah, thank you, Arizona, for all that you do to get this all put together. And don't forget to thank a volunteer while you're here. Sometimes I wish I had a microphone in the middle of the referees so I could hear what they were saying. I want to know all the hot, juicy goss of what happened on the track and what they saw and what they didn't see.
It looks like a serious conversation as it's still going on. I see a lot of nodding.
Confirming some things with each other.
Oh, it looks like a decision has been made.
Yep, everybody's rolling. Looks like they're kind of getting back to their positions a little bit. The captains and coaches have been released.
All right, and we're going to start this jam off with Moral Hazard for Maulstars and Glow Job for Midnight Terror. And we have all 4 blockers from each team on the track currently. That no-no box is cleared of no-nos. And what a great start. Good O from Sacramento. And we have 8-0 Moral Hazard out there putting up a great fight and gaining lead jammer status for Sacramento. And we have those Sacramento blockers out there putting up a great fight against 999 Glow Job. And we have one Sacramento blocker going to the no-no box to think about some of the penalties that she just committed. And we have Moral Hazard out there scoring 4 points for Sacramento, and 999 just got out for the initial pass. Let's see if she's able to score any points. All right, and we have 999 out there getting pushed out of bounds. And so has Merle Hassard. And we have that Sacramento blocker being released from the box. And we have Midnight Terror's pivot going to the no-no box. Let's talk about that bridging right there. It looks fabulous as it's still in play. And we have another Midnight Terror blocker going to the box. And we have 999 gaining 4 more points for Midnight Terror. This is 138 for Sacramento to Midnight Terror's 49.
And there has been an official review that was called from Midnight Terror, maybe challenging a penalty that was assessed. Speaking of penalties, we're actually not doing too bad as far as penalties for each of these teams. Each team has a singular player that has 4 penalties. A singular player that has 3 penalties, a couple with 2, a couple with 1. So it looks like Sacramento is sitting with 17 team penalties, while Midnight Terrors has 16. Nobody really in any penalty trouble as long as those blockers with 4 can kind of tighten it up these last 23 and a half minutes. Oh, we got a juggler in the crowd.
Let's give it up for Kansas City putting out this entertainment.
Yeah, Kansas City's being awesome over there. If I could give Kansas City a medal, I would definitely give them like the best team spirit out of everybody here. They've been doing an awesome job over there getting the crowd going. That was our shoe group, our shoe hands. They're the shoe in for, being an awesome team.
Yes, I agree.
Let's see. Looks like the refs are calling the coaches and captains in. They normally bring everybody together, hear what the complaint is, what they're being asked to look at. Then they go back and have a little chat with their other stripy friends. Try to see exactly what happened, if a call needs to be reassessed.
And that official review has come to an end. And we are back to Derby.
Paulo and Swifty back out on that Razor Cake Jam line. Swifty trying to make their way to the front of the pack. This is a nice slow pack so far as a start. Oh, there was some beautiful toe stop work there by Swifty on that inside line, giving them lead jammer status. Well, we have a little skateboard push from Apollo. Swifty coming back into the pack. Going to see if they can score any points before Apollo makes it in there. And they are almost successful. That is 1 point that was picked up for Midnight Terror there, bringing them up to 50 to Sacramento's 142 points.
And we have Midnight Terror starting off with a pack advantage as they have all 4 blockers on the track, with Sacramento's 3 blockers and 1 in the penalty box. We have 106 Allison out there jamming for Sacramento currently, and we have 25 Knuckles out there jamming for Midnight Terror. Let's see who will become lead jammer for this jam. We have both jammers out there putting up a fight, and we see 143 out there with contact on that jammer. Nice little rotation. I feel like this is the best seat because we get to see all this action firsthand right in your face. And we have 106 Allison gaining lead jammer status, and we have a successful pass. And we have 327 going to the box currently.
It looks like that blocker also did get an extra penalty, so they will be sitting for a full minute. One of the new rules of Derby is they want you to make a direct 45 cut from the track when you receive a penalty. Otherwise, you'll get another one.
And we have another blocker going to the no-no box. And this will actually be a power jam for Sacramento. Oh, both jammers are in the box currently, and Midnight Terror's jammer has just been released. And this will be a 2-minute jam as both jammers have been in the box currently. And we have 106 Allison being released. And we have 20 seconds to this jam ends. And we have both of those jammers pushing and pushing for those points. The fight that these skaters are giving is just wonderful. And we have 4 points scored for each team.
Looks like there was a failure to return that was called on a Midnight Terror blocker. So they're going to be starting a little short in this pack.
And this is 146 for Maulstars to Midnight Terror's 55.
And now we're having a team timeout from Sacramento. Taking a little break. We have about 20 minutes left in the rest of this Monsoon madness.
Let's give it up for timeouts because they are much needed when you're out there going back to back for those jams, out there putting up a good fight for your team.
Definitely. Speaking of this tournament being called Monsoon Madness, I definitely understand why on my way out here. Definitely ran into some dust storms and rain and all that jazz while it also being extremely hot.
Yes.
Some great monsoon weather.
Very interesting. We had a big patch of rain and then it suddenly just was
Clear
gone.
skies.
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully none of us get into that when we are on our way home.
And that timeout comes to an end. And we currently have 1 Midnight Terror blocker in the penalty box. So Sacramento is starting off with a pack advantage for this track time. And we have Foreclosure out there putting up a great fight for lead jammer status. And we have Fury's George out there gaining lead jammer status for Midnight Terror. And we have Foreclosure still out there putting up a fight to get out for her initial pass, which has happened. And this will be a power jam for Sacramento as Furious George is sent to the penalty box for a black box. And we see some twirling and spinning from Foreclosure, gaining 4 points for Sacramento. And we have all 4 blockers out there for each team, putting up some O for Sacramento. And this will be a 2-minute jam. And you have Furious George being released from the box, putting up a fight to gain some points for her team. And we have Foreclosure out there pushing through that Midnight Terror wall. And we heard a whistle, and another Midnight Terror blocker is going to the no-no box. And we have Foreclosure out here pushing, and gain some more points. There is 5 seconds left in this jam. And we have Foreclosure out there gaining all 4 points for Sacramento and 1 point for Midnight Terror. That was a 16-point jam for the Maulstars, bringing them to 162, and a 5-point jam for the Midnight Terror, bringing them to 60.
Merle Hazard out there for the Sacramento Maulstars against Devil's Ivy from the Midnight Terror. Merle Hazard trying to dig up that outside line, but Devil's Ivy does make it through the pack, but had taken off the star, so did not get lead jammer status. Merle Hazard out now with the lead. Devil's Ivy's did pick up all 4 points on that pass while Merle Hazard is reapproaching. We're going to take a little break here.
Let's give it up for our medics out there, making sure that all skaters are safe.
Yes, let's give a hand for our medics. And I think we'll be coming to the end of this official timeout here shortly. Just waiting for some of our referees to get back in position.
We have everybody lined up for this jam to begin. We have 999 Glow Job out there jamming for Midnight Terror. And we have number 1 Swiffy out there jamming for Sacramento. We have all 4 blockers on the track. And we have Swiffy gaining lead jammer status for Sacramento, but we have Glow Job out there fighting to get out for her initial. And we have the pivot for Sacramento going to the no-no box. And we have Midnight Terror blocker in the no-no box also. We have Swifty out there gaining 4 points for Sacramento. All right, and we have Swifty out there gaining 4 more points for Sacramento. And we have Glow Job out there still fighting to get out again. And we have 113 going to that Night Owl penalty box. Swifty scoring 4 more points for Sacramento. And we have 99 scoring 4 points. And we have Swifty calling it off after that failed apex jump.
We have Allison back out there on the jam line for the Sacramento Maulstars against Apollo for the Midnight Terrors. And there is a back block that was assessed to Apollo. So this is a power jam for Allison and the Maulstars. Allison trying to find some space on that outside line and does, picking up lead jammer status. Looks like there's a little bit of offensive work that's being done here by their teammates. It's actually quite nice. 2 teammates took 1 blocker, 2 teammates took another blocker, while the other blocker hit somebody out. Whole lot of offense going on there, and it worked out really nicely for Allison. While Apollo has now returned to the track, tried to follow Allison on that outside line, but was denied, and also received a cut track penalty. So it's going back to the Night Owl penalty box. Allison's being bumped to that outside line there, trying to give a little communication to their blockers, being told by their wall to call it, and does after picking up, it looks like 2 more points.
3.
3 points. I'm sorry, I couldn't see the thumb. So now that was 7 points in that jam for Allison, bringing their score up to 185 points up against Wasatch's 68. Under 14 minutes left in the game.
And this will be a power jam advantage for Sacramento as Midnight Terror's jammer is still in the Night Owl penalty box. And we have 4-4 foreclosure out there jamming for Sacramento and fighting to gain lead jammer status. And we have that 0-0-0 out there giving out a good fight.
I think that's Booty Queen.
And we have 4-4 gaining lead jammer status. And we have 8-9 just released from the penalty box. And we have Apollo out there getting out on their initial pass. And foreclosure puts that jam to an end, but not before scoring 1 point for Sacramento. Well, actually 2 points. That bringing them to 187. Hey, that's my number. And
Hey.
to Midnight Terror 68. This game is not over as we still have 12 and a half minutes for this quarter.
And that's 5-second called with Merle Hazard and Knuckles back there out on the Razor Cake jam line. Merle Hazard trying to get a little bit of offensive help on that outside line, trying to find a little space, almost makes it, not quite. Recycled back by that pack there. Knuckles fighting against the last 2 Sacramento blockers, but they reformed a little bit, trying to make it as hard as possible. Merle Hazard has received a penalty. It looks like it was a cut track penalty. So this is a power jam. Jam for Knuckles. Let's see if they're able to take advantage of this power jam. Trying to get some offensive help from their friends. Recycled back. and makes it through the pack as lead jammer. Approaching the pack, trying to make their way to the inside, then through the pack, looking for their friends for a little help. We all need a little help from our friends. Merle Hazard now coming back into the pack, into the tripod, taking some bodies out, but it looks like it was a good hit from what the ref is showing. Merle Hazard, some big, beautiful toe stop steps there on that inside between turn 3 and 4. But Wasatch is going to go ahead and call that off before they can pick up any points, although Wasatch picked up some points. Their score is 72 now to the beautiful number 187. That is my cohort here's number for Sacramento.
And we have number 1 Swiffy out there jamming for Maulstars. And we have Furious George out there jamming for Midnight Terror. We have all 4 blockers out there from each team. And we have 2-3-2-4 Furious George out there gaining lead jammer status for Midnight Terror. Swiffy is not that far behind. And we have Furious George out there calling it before Swiffy was able to score any points. But still, Furious George was able to grab 1 point, bringing Midnight Terror to 73 to Maulstars 187.
What do you think as far as?
Yes.
Do you think any more like who should go there? And Allison and Devil's Ivy back out there on the Razor Cake jam line. It looks like a little jammer on jammer action there in the back, knocking Allison to the outside line. So that Wasatch can go ahead and recycle back, and that is going to be Devil's Ivy, who is your lead jammer. That tactic that they used worked. Allison now back there taking the star off their helmet and has completed a successful pass. Devil's Ivy now back in the pack, trying to score any points that she can to put up on that board. And that was Rhodes Warrior who took that star pass there for Sacramento, forcing the call off. 4 more points picked up in that jam for Wasatch, bringing their score up to 77. Maulstars still hanging on at 187.
And we have 8-0 Merle Hazard out there jamming against 999 Glow Job for Midnight Terror. All 4 blockers are on the track currently. And we have this jam coming to a start. We have 999 out there with 1 jammer to block and gaining lead jammer status for Midnight Terror.
I was clapping because I thought it was just the end of the jam. I hadn't looked at the track. The X's have gotten it already. Okay. The crossouts are not here.
Okay. I was going to say this one because they took that good pass.
They've already gotten it, yeah.
Well, this one I do agree with.
I feel like I haven't seen.
Okay. And we have 5 seconds to this jam begins. And we have number 1, Swiffy, out there jamming for Maulstars. And we have Apollo out there jamming for the Midnight Terror. And we have Apollo out there gaining lead jammer status for the Midnight Terror. But we have Swiffy out there right on her tail. And we have Apollo calling it, gaining 1 point, and we have the Maulstars gaining 3 points for that jam, bringing the Maulstars to 190 and Midnight Terror to 78. We have this jam starting off with all 4 blockers on the track.
Knuckles is back out there against Forecloser. Forecloser trying to push forward through the pack. And looking for a little bit of space on the outside. Knuckles also tries the outside, then goes inside. But it looks like Knuckles did pick up a cut track. So this is a power jam for the Sacramento Maulstars. Forecloser having 1 blocker there left to fight with. Booty Queen doing some great one-on-one blocking there, but does pick up a forearm penalty, sending them to the Night Owl penalty box. Forecloser re-entering the pack on the outside line, looking for a little bit of help. The pack starts moving a little bit faster now, while there's a little bit of space on that inside line, giving Forecloser 4 points. Knuckles has now returned to the track, making contact with that tripod in the back, while Sacramento is leaving a little bit of offense there in the front. Forecloser is knocked to that outside line there and recycled back. I'm not entirely sure which blocker that was, but it was a nice hit. Forecloser does some great 1-foot work around that outside edge always. I've seen it many times so far, not only in this game, but this tournament. And there was an attempted star pass there. Ooh, so beautiful, rolling around on those toe stops. But didn't think that they were in, so they're going to decide to, be safe and go back behind everybody. Better safe than sorry. Don't want to get too risky, especially as a jammer. Jammer penalties are the worst.
All right, and we have 5 minutes left for this tournament.
Monsoon Madness.
And we have Furious George out there jamming for Midnight Terror and Moral Hazard out there jamming for the Maulstars. We have all 4 blockers on the track putting up a fight. We have each jammer swiffing to each side. And we have 1 Midnight Terror blocker going to the track for a directional. And we have Moral Hazard out there with one more blocker to beat, gaining lead jammer status for this jam. And there are 3 blockers on the track for each team currently, as each has 1 in the Night Owl penalty box. And we have Moral Hazard out there gaining 4 points for the Maulstars. And we have Furious George out there still putting up a fight against those Sacramento blockers. And we have Moral Hazard out there calling off that jam before picking up 2 more points, bringing the Maulstars to 208 to Midnight Terror's 78 points. We have 3.5 minutes left in this game.
Tournament.
Yeah, the whole tournament.
The whole tournament. Championship game here. with Devil's Ivy and Swifty out back on that Razor Cake Jam line. The whistle has been blown. It looks like I see some bouncing around on that outside there by Swifty while Devil's Ivy is trying to take it up the center. Swifty tried to take that inside line there, was tripped up a little bit and recycled back, having to reset, trying to find space on that outside line. Doing a great job at keeping that pack there in the front moving. And Devil's Ivy does a little skateboard push on the outside, finding space, picking up lead. Swifty's still in the pack there against that wall of Midnight Terror blockers. Having a friend there helping keep pack forward. Everybody's getting a little tired. This is the last game. A little over 2 minutes. A minute left in this jam. And there's attempted star pass. They're thinking about a star pass. And during that, there was a cut track that's assessed to Swifty, sending them to the Night Owl penalty box for a power jam. Power jam, 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 jam.
We also have another blocker from Maulstars being sent to the Night Owl penalty box also.
Devil's Ivy doing a nice little juke there on that outside line, picking up 4 points. Coming in for their third scoring pass now. Going up that center to the inside line, trying to take a little shirt whip off of their friend, not quite successful. Is going to attempt to take that outside line, following their front, and there's that successful shirt whip, and we have Swifty now re-entering the pack. It looks like Devil's Ivy may be running this a little bit long, trying to pick up some more points. But that is the end of that jam. Midnight Terror picking up 12 points. Their score is now at 90 to Maulstars 208.
And we have all 4 blockers on the track currently, as no one is in that Night Owl penalty box.
Less than a minute left, folks.
And we have Apollo out there jamming against Allison. This will possibly be the last jam of this tournament.
Yeah, this could be the last jam. Very much
see
so.
What's going to happen?
But
we have Apollo gaining lead jammer status. Allison getting right out. This is going to be exciting. Let's see how many points Apollo could score. We have one of the Midnight Terror blockers going to the penalty box. And we have Allison scoring 4 points. And Apollo scoring 4 points also. We're going to have this jam keep going. Some more points are going to be scored. Oh, 4 more points for Apollo. And Apollo following directions from her coaches. Oh, and we see some jammer on jammer action.
I think there was an attempt at that on the last pass as well.
Yeah. And that comes with Allison scoring 4 more points for Sacramento. And we see Allison out there still fighting. And we see Apollo out there about to score some more points before getting pushed out. And we have Apollo calling off that jam, bringing that to a 12-12 jam. And we have that unofficial score of Maulstars 220 to Midnight Terror's 102.
And we're waiting for that rolling whistle here now, which lets us know that that is the official score. Our winners, the Sacramento Maulstars, with 220 points. Let's go ahead and get on the track and give everybody a high five, you guys. All right, this has been a wonderful tournament, you guys. Thank you for having me here. I'm Hit Me Brewston.
And I am Medieval.
And we'll see you on the track.
Bye and safe travels back home.
Be sure to stick around for the presentation of the awards. We will be presenting the trophies for first, second, and third place, along with the MVP awards. So stick around for those.